Welcome to Carol and Gary's See America Tour.
Hello again, everyone. On Thursday, June 3rd, Carol, Jasper, and I drove 90 miles southeast from Hartford, Connecticut to Mystic, Connecticut. After being scared off by the weather forecast on Friday, June 4th, Carol, Jasper, and I decided to visit the Mystic River Bascule Bridge in downtown Mystic on Saturday, June 5th. A bascule bridge is an arrangement that uses heavy weights as a counterbalance to help lift or lower the floor section of the bridge. Built in 1922, this 85-foot wide bridge is 218 feet long and weighs 600 tons, but because of the two 230-ton concrete-filled counterweights, it only takes two 1,400-pound, 40-horsepower direct current electric motors to lift the roadbed. From 7:40 a.m. to 6:40 p.m., May 1st through October 31st, the bridge is raised to allow boat traffic to pass at 40 minutes after the hour every hour. Other lift times can be scheduled on demand by phone. After watching the bridge go up and down, we drove around looking at old houses. On Sunday, June 6th, and then again on Monday, June 7th, Carol and I visited the Mystic Seaport Museum, a 19-acre living history museum. We visited the museum twice because there was so much to see, and our tickets were good for 7 days. The first thing that we saw at the museum was a fireboat named Fireman. Capable of pumping 20,000 gallons of water per minute, Fireman spent 7 decades patrolling the New York harbor, involved in some of the most harrowing maritime emergencies in U.S. history. Fireman would pull up next to a burning boat or along the dock, and then use her 8 water cannons located around the boat to pump water directly from the harbor to the fire. Here are the 5 water cannons mounted to the roof of the boat. This is one of the 2 water cannons mounted on the rear of the boat. Another one is mounted up front. This is the captain's wheelhouse where he could steer the boat into position to fight a fire. Next, we saw the Charles W. Morgan. The Charles W. Morgan was built and launched in 1841, making it America's oldest commercial ship still afloat. The ship measures 106 feet 11 inches long and 27 feet 9 inches wide. It is the last of an American whaling fleet that once numbered more than 2,700 ships. In the early 1800s, whales were harpooned for their blubber. Yes, this killed the whale. The blubber was then cut off the whale and cooked down into fuel oil for lamps or for lubricating the gears of equipment during the Industrial Revolution. The oil would be stored in barrels aboard the ship until the ship returned to port. The Morgan typically sailed with a crew of 30 to 35 crewmen. Over her 80-year whaling career, the Morgan embarked on 37 voyages, with most lasting 3 years or more. Built for durability, not speed, she roamed every corner of the globe in pursuit of whales. Whale oil was replaced by petroleum products in the mid-19th century. This was the captain's office area. Here is his sleeping quarters. This was the first mate's cabin. The first mate ranked right below the captain. His cabin had a small desk because he was required to keep the ship's log and other records. This was the second and third mate's cabin. This was the bunk room for the carpenter, cook, steward, and cooper. Although these bunks appear to be small, the majority of bunks in all living quarters was over 6 feet. The cooper was responsible for reassembling the barrels that had been previously assembled and then dismantled for ease of storage. The cooper was expected to properly stow the whale oil barrels and maintain their watertight nature throughout the voyage. This area in the back of the ship was where the ship's crew slept. After the Charles W. Morgan, we walked over to the Joseph Conrad. The 111-foot Joseph Conrad was built in 1882 in Copenhagen, originally under the name of George Stage, as a memorial to the son of a prominent ship owner. The ship was built for the purpose of being a training ship for crews of boys in the Danish merchant service. From her launch until her sale in 1934, more than 4,000 merchant marine cadets sailed in her 6-month training course in the Baltic and North Seas. She was run down and sunk by a British freighter in 1905, killing 22 young sailors. But she would be raised, repaired, and returned to service. Retired after 52 years, the vessel was about to be scrapped when Australian-born author, adventurer, photographer, and mariner Alan Billiers bought her in 1934. Under the British flag, she was renamed Joseph Conrad, and Captain Billiers took her on a 58,000-mile voyage around the world that lasted more than 2 years. In 1936, Joseph Conrad was sold again. A modern engine was added, and she was used for 3 years as a private yacht. In 1939, the Conrad was transferred to the U.S. Maritime Commission and continued in service as an American training ship until 1945. After a 2-year layup, she became, by act of Congress, the property of the Mystic Seaport Museum. Because a large portion of every boat or ship is underwater, they need to be pulled out of the water occasionally for inspection and/or maintenance. The Mystic Seaport Museum maintains a large shipyard, so this work can be done on site. This support system would be rolled out onto the end of the dock, and then this section of the dock would be lowered into the water, and then a ship can be guided over the lift and then raised out of the water for service. Here is a better picture of the vertical lift system showing how it works. This is a large ship named Shenandoah that has been pulled out of the water and is undergoing extensive maintenance. There was a large carpentry shop and wood storage area in the shipyard, but since it was Sunday, no one was working. In addition to the ships in the shipyard, the museum had a small village set up to replicate what a coastal town would have looked like in the 1800s. There was a blacksmith shop,
Is it not hinge? There you go, flatten.
This is going to be the opposite side. So this is going to be that tine that eventually will tie in with the other side. I hear there's a question in the audience.
a pharmacy, a doctor's office, a print shop, and a woodcarver. The woodcarver was the guy who carved elaborate figures that were mounted to the front of a ship. When not carving a figure for a ship, he might be carving a sign for a store. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to call an end to this video right here. We saw much more than what I've shared in this video, but some areas of our campground lost internet 2 days ago, and the campground can't convince the internet provider to make a site visit to investigate further. We will be leaving Mystic and Connecticut on Thursday and driving to Rhode Island. The Mystic Seaport Museum was an awesome place to visit. I would highly recommend it if you're in the Mystic, Connecticut area. Connecticut is the 40th state that Carol and I have visited together. If you like this video but have not yet subscribed, please do so to be notified of future videos, and as always, feel free to share with your friends. Thanks for watching.